All right, Carp Anglers, how you guys doing? Dave Sanders here from Two Fish Fighters and
Daniel Irish from USA CARP Guide. How you guys doing?
great. Hope everybody had a great weekend or week, whatever. Today is Wednesday. If you guys haven't checked out USA CARP Guide's podcast yesterday, it was a great show. I think you guys did good.
Thank you.
A lot of good strategies. What you guys getting ready going on in the future? That was definitely a good show. And if you guys on their podcast, they're mainly on YouTube, right?
Yeah. We're going to be mainly on YouTube. We're working on getting into like TikTok and like some other things like that, multi-streaming. But right now, mainly YouTube, and then our video. So like right after our podcast is done or our talk show is done, it does go live up right there, so people can go back and watch that right there from YouTube as well. Hello, Sam. How you doing?
Man, get a lot of people on here. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Fred Powers, they hear him and they flock.
Fred Powers. Wow, I've been trying to get that guy on this show for a while, but he's always been busy. Mm-hmm. I said, man, I would love to have Fred. Everybody's all talking about Fred. You know what I mean? The carp that he's bringing in to hold over the top of the mat. His strategies, I was like, man, I want to get into, and I want to pick his mind.
Yeah, and it's consistently, it's not just like one fish here, one fish there. It's like, it seems like every week, every couple of days, it's like, yep, there's Fred. He's got another banger of a fish.
Man, but he's definitely got something going on right there. You want to go ahead and get him on the show?
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring him on. So this is our guest.
Fred! What up, brother? How you doing?
There it was. Let me unmute you real quick. So sorry. All right, they can hear you now, Fred. So sorry.
I'm great, guys. I just got back from a little trip in Connecticut.
Nice. Doing good? Of course.
Yeah, it was only a little day trip. I just drove down early this morning and we fished until about 4 o'clock. It's around a 2-hour drive, so we got 4 fish.
Nice.
I got 3 of them. My buddy, 5 fish. I got 3, my buddy got 2.
Okay, yeah, sweet. So, man, Fred, I was just talking to Daniel here. I said, man, I want to get you on the show for a long time. Everybody's talking about Fred, the fish he's putting over on the mat, and, the strategies and, the techniques that you use. And why don't you, for people that don't know you, which I'll be very surprised that they don't know you, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself and how long you've been carp fishing?
So, I started Euro style around 2018.
Nice. So
using hair rigs, alarms, mat, the proper techniques. I would call proper anyways. And before then, from the stretch around 2016 to like late 2017,
right,
I was just fishing bread on a little hook, or even when I first started, it was barbarian rigs, treble hook, whatever I could catch them with.
Right.
But I slowly learned the proper ways and the techniques that you can take care of these fish and handle them with care and be able to allow people to catch them in the future.
So, you said 2016, 2017, you're using some barbarian rigs. I like that. I'm going to steal that, by the way. Barbarian rigs and, floating bread and things like that. What was it that actually made you say that you wanted to target this carp? Were you already an angler and then you saw the fish? That's kind of what happened to me is I was just bass fishing one spring.
So how it all started, as soon as I was in diapers, I was holding a fishing rod, catching bluegill, bass, whatever I could get to bite the worm, pretty much. Yeah. We grew up going to a campground every summer, so the water was right in front of us. My parents fished. My dad and uncle and mother all loved fishing for bass and game species. I guess you could. I guess that's the right term, right? Game species,
like
bass
sport
or whatnot.
Fish and things like that.
Sport fish, yes. Thank you. It was fun and everything, and eventually got to the point where I kind of limited out. I caught 7+ pound bass, which is very large for New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Like a 7 pounder is a trophy. And I maxed out. I got bored of bass fishing, being able to just hook a fish and reel it in as fast as I can.
Yeah.
And my uncle, he said, well, why don't you go down to the river and try to catch a carp? I didn't have a license at that point. I didn't have any means of transportation. The river was far away. And so he ended up taking me down there, and we hooked one fish, which immediately took a very strong run and just broke my line. I was immediately like, all right, we're on to something.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet, I was the same way, bass fishing, and then I would hit, the neighborhoods, and getting into that rhythm of, okay, I'm going to hop on my bike, and I'm going to go catch this bass at this spot, and then I'm going to go catch this bass at this tree, and it just gets all so boring.
Right.
And I agree with you, that first carp that, and especially like you had it where it breaks your line,
my gosh.
You're like, oh no, what was that? Now I have to get all new gear, I have to go back to the drawing board, so, I bet that was pretty exciting for you.
You also need to remember, at that time, I didn't know what BCT was. Nobody that I knew what big carp tackle was.
Right.
It was non-existent for me. If I looked up carp fishing gear, it would bring me to Nash's page and brands in the UK, which they wouldn't ship to the US at that time. So it was very difficult to get the gear. I didn't, Amazon really wasn't that big of a thing at the time. They weren't carrying carp products.
Right.
Yeah, so there was people that were doing it, but it wasn't, up in New England, it's very far and few between. So I kept at it. I kept going down to the river and getting rides. Every time I could, get out of school, hey mom, can you take me to the river? She would drop me off, and I'd sit there catching fall fish and like little creek chubs, little tiny suckers, right? And, like this is not carp, when's my carp gonna happen? I go like probably about a year and a half without even getting a sight of a carp, not even a nibble. And this is consistent fishing too. Like I'm going out every week at least, multiple days, but just using the barbarian rigs, and just casting a bread ball into the middle of the river and letting it drift down, and I would catch more sticks than I would fish.
Yeah.
So a buddy of mine, he told me, "Oh, go to this little pond over here in this neighborhood, kind of close to you." So go out there with my father and walking around, and there's a carp right in front of me, and my jaw dropped. I'm just looking at this. It was probably only about 10 pounds, but that's the biggest fish I've seen in my life, besides in the ocean.
Right.
We for big fish around here, carp is it. You get some sturgeon, but you can't even touch those. So
that's crazy.
It's super protected.
Yeah.
So that day I found that fish at that pond, I ended up catching a fish from there, and that was fun. I kept going back and learning how to track these fish down, which routes they take, and where to put my hook baits, and how to catch them more and more effectively and faster. And then I said, you know what? I should go to the river. And I went to the river and spent around a year figuring out the pond and catching.
Okay.
So now I'm 2 years into it, right? 2 years into catching nothing. Right? And then spend another year at the river. So now I'm 3 years into catching nothing. I finally hooked my 3 years of just like, I'm still bass fishing here and there, obviously, but I'm talking carp.
Right.
I finally end up hooking one in the river, and it just takes me face down into a snag. And after that fish, he pulled my arm straight. After that fish, I was hooked. The river fish are so much different than pond fish.
Oh yeah. Stronger.
Yeah. That was the one. That was the one that haunted me and made me keep going back. And
nice.
Yeah.
So you're still using bread balls and stuff like that for that fish, correct?
Ironically, every early spring, before I even pull out the Euro style gear, the fish are still really lethargic but still moving in. I'll go and flip little bread balls around, and you'd be very surprised how many fish I end up catching. Like 20, 25 pound fish. You'd be very surprised.
So I'm kind of curious. You say you're 3 years into it. You get your fish. All the time, you're an angler, you're like me, I imagine. You know, you're thinking about what are these fish doing? You know, where are they at? Where am I going to be able to catch them from? So it kind of sounds like your watercraft. You know, you kind of built that up before you were even starting to build up your any kind of Euro style gear or any of that.
Yes, exactly. Watercraft and learning fish's habits. That was very, very, very important to me, and I'm very glad that I took the couple of years doing that, struggling, because it allowed me to pick apart a spot as soon as I show up. I can pick it apart, learn the terrain, and just see where the fish are going to be. It's very, very convenient. It doesn't happen everywhere, but like my local waters, you know, I can show up to a spot and just look at them. And
Would you say
you guys must?
Well, when you said barbarian hooks, are you talking about like maybe like number size 2 hooks or something like that?
No, so well, a long time ago it was like a small treble hook, like you'd put on like a little Rapala. A little treble hooks. Yeah, a little treble hook, and I'll just wrap a ball of thread around it and put a bullet weight. And I mean, this is just what my uncle told me. You know, there wasn't a carp. There wasn't carp care.
You didn't know anything about carp care yet and all that kind of stuff?
Right.
Yeah, even then, when I finally first caught a couple, you know, I was like, all right, I really need to get a net. And like, I started bringing like a yoga mat.
Yeah.
And even putting them on the yoga mat, and I had no clue about a mat. I had no clue what a carp was using. Like, I took a bag that I was weighing them in instead of like a burlap sack that I was weighing them in instead of using like hanging them by the gill.
Yeah. Right.
You know, I didn't even know, but it just kind of came with the care of the fish.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Then,
you know, that's one thing that I try to push for the American anglers. You know, is hey guys, we gotta protect these fish, and it's cool to see that you were already like, hey, there's a little something different about these fish. You know, I'm gonna get the net instead of scooping them up or boat flipping them straight onto the bank or something like that. So that's really cool to see.
I mean, that's how I started. I started with a number 2 hook with hot dog, cut up hot dog. You know, I was fishing for cat and carp at the time. Mainly it was just catfish until I got a hold of a carp, and then that just turned my life around. And because just that fish is so powerful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I was shocked. I got a 20-pounder at that time. I'm like, whoa, are you serious? This is like 20. But of course, like everybody else at the beginning, you hold them by the gills. You're not sure. I took those old weighing scales.
Yeah.
It's got the metal.
Metal hook. Yeah.
I didn't know. And then until I started running tournaments myself. Catfish and carp together. And then a guy named we called him Bait Runner back in the day, and he started introducing me to CAG, Carp Anglers Group, and then and of course and the Hoosier Carpers, and then things just kind of, and he was shocked as he used that number size 2 hook. I'm like, yeah, I mean it works.
Yeah.
And of course, he's all advanced. He's doing the whole hair rig kind of thing. But yeah, everybody was different back in the day at the beginning.
As soon as I realized I was going to target these fish, and there's something important about them to me for some reason. Right. I realized the treble hook was tearing their mouth, and it just wasn't, didn't feel right hooking the fish with that.
Right.
And I switched over to a smaller J hook, just a little, pretty much a size 6 or 8 J hook.
Yeah.
I still, ironically, I have the rig that I caught my first carp on.
Wow.
Like the one that set it for me anyway. It's not my very first, but the one that set the passion for me.
Right.
Yeah, I have the rig on my wall above all my little trophies.
Do you guys have the photo of that fish with that hair rig?
No, back then I wasn't even taking pictures. It wasn't photos for me. Yeah, it was go and catch a carp.
That would be kind of cool.
I started doing I messaged one of this guy I met who was doing YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was like, you should come out and do a carp video. And after that, he kind of taught me you get photos, you can post on Facebook, and then we figured out all the Facebook groups. He's like, oh, dude, get a Facebook, start posting, start doing this stuff. And then I meet this guy. His name is Joey Shattuck. Love the dude. Love the dude. He's a homie. He's a brother to me. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And I've known him. Like I go down to my spot. He's set up there, and I'm like, what the heck is this? I had no clue Euro style. So I knew, but I had no clue where to get it. Like I've watched the videos on YouTube now at this point. No clue where to get the stuff still. And I see him, and I'm like, I'm gonna go down. He's got the arms and the mat. I was like, I gotta go down and talk to him.
Yeah.
So I go down and talk to him. He's like, follow me, bro. I'm Joey Shattuck. I'm a carp legend, dude. He's like, follow me on Facebook. I post the biggest carp. And back then, he's posting some big fish. But you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like he was what you call a legend in my part. I would say that helped him.
He had the reputation to back it up and everything. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's what it is. The reputation to back him up. That's what it was, 100%. And so I followed him, and I started following these groups, and the carp anglers group, and all of the different pages.
Recording, yes. Okay, sorry. So you followed the pages, yes.
Yeah, I followed all the pages and saw this post from Joshua Leach. I don't know if you guys have heard.
Yeah, I heard of Joshua Leach.
Yeah, so he's the one who got me like on a drive to fish Euro style.
Nice.
Like he's a big part of my success. He's taught me a lot. He's a good guy. Started linear baits. Me and him started up Trapo. Yeah, he's got some history behind him as well.
Yeah, he came to he came to Indianapolis one time for a Carp Expo years ago.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was only about 30 minutes away from me, and he made a post. Anybody want to come fishing for the night? I had some people bail, so I was like, hey, I can't fish tonight, but I'll fish tomorrow. You know, all right, sure, I'll get you a lift. You know, because I still don't have my license at the point. He gets me a lift down to Lowell, probably about 30 minutes. Not the best area, but lots of fish.
Yeah,
lots of fish. So cool. And we go out that morning, and I show up to his house, and I got my bass rod, my little J hook, and he's like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, but he was cool with it. You know, he's like, dude, he's like, just leave that stuff in my house, man. We'll take out my gear and we'll show. I'll show you what's up.
Yeah.
It's like, all right. So starts pulling out all the hair rigs, and starts pulling out all the fancy leads and the pop-ups, and I'm like my face lit up. I was like, oh my god, carp heaven.
Carp heaven.
He's like, oh, it's like, how do you know about all this stuff? Like, dude, catfishing carp, Alex, all the YouTubers, dude. I've been watching up, but I don't have my hands on the gear yet.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't know about big carp tackle? No. Yeah. And ever since then, it was just I just blew up. Started buying.
Candy Star.
Yeah, it was just a spark. The spark hit, and went.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we talked about Carp Anglers Group in CAG, and I saw you are the state chair for New Hampshire. Are you not?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm state chair for Indiana.
That's what I was gonna say. You guys, I'm surrounded by all these state chairs. You guys, that's a pretty big deal. It's pretty cool that you guys both, spread and advocate carp angling in your guys' states. I think that's pretty cool.
Do you do socials yearly?
So, I've thrown a few socials. They're usually small scale.
Right.
Nothing too big, because New Hampshire has.
Yeah.
I can count the carp anglers on one hand. That dedicated guys.
Right.
One hand. All of New Hampshire.
Okay. All right.
So, Donnie St. Lawrence, Nick Allard.
Okay. I know. Yeah. Good guy.
Let's see, who else? Cody Gales fishes New Hampshire a lot. They're used to. I don't know.
That
Who else?
I don't do.
Let's see.
I personally don't really do socials anymore. I do run tournaments, but for CAG stuff, I don't really use. We go buy our own trophies. I mean, I guess I should use what CAG would provide us, like the medallions and all the stuff that did.
Yeah.
You know, I should, but I don't. But,
Well,
but I do represent CAG. I do try to represent CAG as best as possible. You know.
No,
That's
I
right.
feel like the biggest point for CAG is to just to spread the sport in the
Right.
correct manner. You know,
Yeah,
so
right.
I want to teach people in the correct way and
Yeah.
show them the care for the fish and being
Right.
able to make the sport last. You know?
Oh, absolutely.
That's my biggest push from CAG is taking care of the fish and
I totally
providing
agree.
the sport.
Totally agree. I totally agree.
And I feel like in the future, once I start to get things rolling a little bit more, I had a lot of tournaments this year.
Yeah.
Next year, I'm sticking to 2 tournaments, and I'm doing socials next year
Oh, nice.
instead of
Nice.
tournaments.
Yeah.
And so they'll double as a Carp Commando / American Carp Society /
Commando.
Carp Anglers group.
Yeah.
And it'll be a whole mix up.
That's right. You are part of that
yeah.
team, aren't you? You're part of Carp Commando.
Which one?
The Carp Commando
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go next. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, so
Forgot about
you know,
that.
I've talked.
Oh,
to,
he's got the shirt on,
Right.
But you know, a lot of people wear t-shirts too. So
You know, I've talked to Brandon in
Yeah.
person a couple times. You know,
He's a good
I
guy.
like Brandon Kim a lot.
he's been a little bit on the down low here lately.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's up to something.
What's up, Brandon?
But how did you get mixed up with bad company like Brandon Kim?
So, dude, I'll tell you what. You know, I was not expecting it. I was
Right.
not expecting to get a message. You know, I was kind of like, the pop-up company that I was running, like, took a turn for the worse. The guy that I was getting I had a distributor out of Europe that was rolling my product for me.
Okay.
And he would ship it out in bulk, and I would resell it as I'd flavor it up and resell it. And,
Right.
he ended up selling his machines and started to build carp lakes and syndicate lakes and everything. And
Okay.
I assume that's a much better
Right.
profit. Makes a lot more money doing it, so I understand it,
Yeah.
And so I stopped doing the pop-ups and started going and doing the meetup. I didn't fish the tournament up in Seneca, the New York tournament, but I went and for the trade show to sell some of the pop-ups that I had left, and just kind of see what it was all about. And Brandon was there, and I guess that he talked to a few people. That was my first interaction with Brandon, and talked to a few people, asked them about me, and talked to him a little bit there. And a couple months later, I got a message from him,
Nice.
and was asking me if I would be interested. The team, and I was like, yeah, dude. He wanted to meet up with me and have pretty much an interview and fish together and make sure that I am a good fit. So that's what he did. He came out to New Hampshire and fished a nice mirror spot that we have, a bunch of mirrors. It's a great time. It's cold, but a great time.
Yeah.
That
And yeah, that's it. We just
how many teammates do you have on Carp Commando?
So Brandon obviously.
Right.
So Brandon and so one of our team members just passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yeah. My condolences.
It's real. It's really unfortunate. I just
Mm-hmm.
Right.
no, it still doesn't feel real almost. If that
Right.
makes sense.
I
It's already been.
know what you're talking
It
about.
just
Yeah, I completely do
him
understand.
and Brandon started up the company
Mhm.
and a business, I guess you should say, whichever one. They started it up, and then Hisham Bezwaz, he joined,
Right.
Yeah,
and
Isham.
he's I love that.
I do too. I love watching his videos. I've never met him in person or talked to him, but every single one of his videos, he's got me laughing and giggling. He seems like one of those
If you ever
people
get
that
the chance.
every time you're around him, you're just smiling.
Yeah, he puts me in a good mood just being around him. He's always there for you, gives good advice. He's there as a fishing buddy and a friend, and he's just all around a good guy. And, Brandon as well. All of them, just very, very awesome. So it's Isham and obviously me, and just recently we got Attila.
Mm-hmm.
Do you Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen his videos as well. I haven't talked to him either.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I just recently, this was his first time meeting him this year, and as soon as I met him, I liked him. He's got the energy. He's got the same energy to match me when we're on the bank. And from the second that we met, we were both looking at fish. We were out in Connecticut. We were both looking at fish bubbling over the spot. I'm sitting there with the binoculars, and it was just, I was like, dude, I'm so happy you're joining the team.
Nice.
This is perfect match for the team. He's got good energy.
Yeah.
He's smart. He's just awesome.
Love it.
And right now we're actually looking for a new member to join as well.
Okay.
We have a few candidates that we're thinking about. Obviously, I can't expose who they are. But, few people that we've thought about, and we're looking for somebody though. Somebody to just add that one more edge to the team.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, like you said, everybody that you have, you guys are very well-rounded team. Whole team of what we call bangers. You guys are going to get out there. You're going to get after it. No matter what, you guys are going to get out there and try to catch that fish, whether rain or shine or tsunami or whatever. Even sometimes to a negligent point. We get ourselves out there and run ourselves down after this one fish, and sometimes it's like 15 pounds, but it's our target fish. So. You guys are a real hardcore group of anglers over there, and I think that's really what I respect, and that's kind of the first thing that I noticed, especially about you personally, is, oh, this guy, he's getting out, he's not a weekend angler, and he knows what he's talking about, and that was, that's where a lot of my respect for you comes from, is you're very, very knowledgeable, and then on top of that knowledge, you go out and you put it into practice consistently.
Appreciate that, man, and honestly, biggest thing is my work schedule. It's been very, very on and off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting up a new job right now, actually.
Oh, nice.
So you might not see as many posts, but the posts you're going to see, they're going to be good ones. Guaranteed.
You've been hanging around a bait shop here lately, promoting it a lot. You got a shout out for them or anything? Or you want to talk about it?
Oh yeah, that was definitely coming here. So Ben's Tackle Shack.
Nice. Ben's.
Yeah, they're awesome guys down there. I met up with Dave. He's Dave the Outdoorsman on Facebook. He's just stand-up guy. 100% good dude.
Right.
And he's a brother. You know what I mean? He's a brother at this point. I haven't known the guy fucking very long, but he's just one of those guys where you meet him and he's there for you.
The click.
Yeah, he'll just call me, or we'll just call each other, shoot the shit, and just talk for fucking 45 minutes or whatever. It's just one of those type of guys. He calls and checks up on you. It's not just about fishing.
Is he a carp angler?
Yeah, so he carp fishes. He's only been doing it this year. He started around April. He's super fresh to it, but he's doing really good. I forget when I fish with him that he's only been doing it since April. I'm like, dude, you've been doing this for like 5 years. No, he's been doing this for 1 year. You're gonna see that guy put some 40s on the bank. I already know.
Yeah, you got to watch out for those. Those guys are the sleepers. Where you're like, wait, you've only been doing this for that long? Oh, I forgot.
So he basically he met you, or you guys clicked. Did you introduce him to carp fishing and try to get some carp product, or you already had it?
No, he had everything. Everything that he's got in the shop. I've given him some advice.
Good.
Don't get me wrong. If he asks me, I'm gonna tell him.
Right.
And but he's worked with Carp Daddy Baits.
I do know Carp Daddy Baits.
Yeah, you guys had him on.
Yeah, we had him on the show before.
Douglas McGrath.
Yeah, shout out Lava
Douglas. Shout out to Douglas. He's another guy. Douglas is a man. Him and Dave, started talking, and he got his boilies in. Dave was like, "Oh, I love the boilies." He's like, "Oh, you should get in contact with some of the other companies and get some products in there and start ordering stuff off of Amazon." And so that's just what he did. He started making a couple $1,000 orders, or whatever the number what may be at whatever time he makes the order, and he's selling he is selling that stuff like duh. It's not staying on the shelves, you know.
For the bait shops that wants to start getting carp products in their bait shops, what would you recommend for them to start out with? Baits, rods, reels. I mean, or end caps. What kind of product would you like to recommend? Yeah.
I would start off just to make sure that your shelves, that you can allow space on your shelf for a product.
Right.
I would start off with simple hair rigs from Amazon, something that you can invest a couple dollars into, but it's not going to hurt your pocket at the end of the day. Right?
Totally
because
agree. That's
what all these people are going to. You're just stopping the people that are going to go to Amazon and buy it themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
So put a couple Amazon rigs on the shelf. Put a couple of cheap things of pop-ups, cheap things of boilies. You don't got to get anything crazy. Because you're not going after the dedicated anglers when you're starting. You're people who are just kind of coming in like, oh, I'll try it. I'll try to catch a carp.
Yeah.
And then your shop gets known. You start making sales, and then all these guys who carp fish regularly are coming in and, oh, we need good hair rigs. We need good hooks.
Yep.
Once you start getting a client base, I'll get good hooks.
Yeah.
Beginner rods, because 90% of people aren't going to spend a couple $100 on rods until they get that itch to catch these carp.
Right.
Until they lose that first one where they realize
he's on the right track. He's on the right track, because this is what I'd recommend to a lot of bait shops that start to get into it.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
And you have to think also that it is a store, and you can't sell somebody a product that's going to last them 20 years, because you won't have them ever come back in your shop.
Yep.
So you got to start somewhere. Get these people coming back in. Try to keep small bags of product in your store. So people have to come in and regularly re-up, and I'll grab a couple of hooks because I'm already here. I'll grab some leads because I'm already here.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to upgrade my alarms. And that's how I would start it.
Okay. Would you recommend bait? What kind of bait would you recommend? Or flavor, bait or flavors? Do you do when you like Ben Sword? Does he have flavors?
So it's Ben's carries all different flavors, all different types of products, a bunch of different brands, Proline, Carp, whatever they might.
Yeah.
Bunch of different stuff, and it's only getting more and more. They're only getting more products. For me personally, I don't use any type of flavoring in my pack bait. Right?
Okay.
They're simple.
Yeah.
If I'm somewhere that say that I go to the tournament and I know the fish are hitting on sea and fruit.
Okay.
Boilies from carp. Right? Say that they're hitting on carp, sea, and fruit. I'm gonna probably use carp, sea, and fruit.
Okay, a good product.
It's just
great product.
Yeah, yeah. But if I'm showing up to my normal spots where I know how these fish react,
right,
I'm just gonna throw corn with no flavoring and a little tiger nut, or they have this stuff. It's called Impulse Goo.
Impulse.
It's like a feeding stimulant. Yeah. The carp love it. I mean, it smells like yeast, and it obviously triggers some type of pheromone or something in their system where they go nuts.
I'm not aware of this yet. No, go.
It could be gimmick. Could be. I'll send you a link after.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
It could be a gimmick, but you know what? It doesn't smell strong. It's not like you'd smell it and you'd go, whoa. It's almost like a sourdough, like a yeasty type of smell.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's like if we're talking about the same stuff, it's almost like a fermentation, right before that bread and stuff starts to ferment. Yeah. I throw that in my spod mix and stuff. I love that.
Look at you.
There it is.
I got a couple secrets.
And
we gotta talk.
Another thing I've been focusing on recently is trying to keep single things instead of using a whole mix with corn, tiger nuts, hemp, chickpeas, everything. Keep it to one thing.
Yeah.
Only corn, only tiger nuts, only chickpeas.
Nice.
Been trying things like that, and it's definitely been changing my bites up. They're getting more consistent, larger fish instead of just whatever's kind of coming through the bait pile or whatever.
Right.
Okay, so I'm glad that you brought up baits like corn and chickpeas and tiger nuts, and people throw cattle cubes and things like that.
Ranch cube, yeah.
Do you think that we as carp anglers are asking too much of things like sweet corn and boiled feed corn, or do you think it's a tool that a lot of anglers kind of overlook and don't really maximize the most out of their corn?
So it does not matter where you go. Carp will eat corn. Mm-hmm. They will eat it. They might not eat it the first time they swim over. Yeah. This is something Attila taught me. Attila, our team
that you said that.
Yes, they will eat it, man. So, if that big 50-pounder that's seen a sea and fruit boilie and got hooked on it 10 times, he's gonna still eat that corn.
Yeah.
So you just. It all depends. It comes into your rig and how your rig sits, how you're laying your line, and if you can trip that fish up or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. Some places you go, it really doesn't matter. You could throw whatever you want in front of their face and they're gonna eat it.
Yeah.
But my waters around me, you have to do at least a full 5-gallon bucket of boilie to get them to realize it's a food source again.
Yeah.
It's too expensive for me.
Yeah, and that's
30.
Sorry to cut you off, but that's a thing that I've had conversation with some other anglers, and they're like, I have fish in my swim, I'm catching on corn, how do I get them to hit boilies? And I'm like, brother, I don't think you want them to. It's going to cost you way too much. And why when you're catching on corn? I think sometimes people want to use a bait more than use the bait that would work the best. Sometimes
a lot of time when you got the regular plain bait out there, mm-hmm. it's the image that goes onto your rig that probably stands out the most. I feel like half the time. Am I right or am I wrong? What do you think?
Do you mean like the presentation of your rig?
Presentation of your rig.
Yeah, presentation is key. Presentation is key, dude. Your hook bait's sitting backwards. The fish is going to come in and eat it 10 times before it actually gets hooked, and who knows, it might react badly the first time, and then you lose that chance at that 30.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I mean, color-wise and all that kind of stuff. I mean, what do you do?
People forget that color fades through water level.
It does.
Right.
Deeper it gets, it's like that's why a lot of anglers for the deep water uses green. And it stands out more. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that video? You ever seen that video?
Yeah. So. It's like a bunch of marker caps.
Yeah.
And they're sticking it down.
It's fascinating with that.
You pay attention. Orange turns brown and green. So that's why these guys who are using orange line, after 15 feet of water, it turns brown and green.
Right.
It's so interesting.
Yeah, it was very. Yeah, I was blown away. It made sense. It really did after seeing that video. I'm like, well, okay.
I think
people also have to.
Sorry, go ahead, Fred.
People also have to think that carp, and they look at color differently. They have to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they look at it. Yeah. They're not looking at it. They're trained to key in on certain things. Whites and
very skittish fish.
White is something. Yeah, white is something that they key in on from so far away. It's insane. Muscle beds. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
and bread is just another. Good, they eat the little white floating things on the surface of the water from the trees. Wood seeds.
Yeah, they eat all those little bugs, all those nymphs and things like that.
Cottonwood, and stuff like that.
Everything like that, So kind of get caught up in the whole boilie thing. I think.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Keep it simple. Catch your fish. If you're looking for trophies and these fish are already feeding on boilie, people have established that swim, so they react to boilie.
Right.
I wouldn't even bring I would just go straight to it. There's a place down here where this guy Murphy Max, his name's Kevin Murphy, but Murphy Max, he runs little tournament that he doesn't call it a tournament, but it's pretty much a tournament at this point. A lot of people show up. Called the Lady Ginger.
Oh okay.
I don't know if you guys heard about it.
I heard of it.
So
famous.
Those waters, Carp Max dominated, dude. telling you, if you don't rock up to that spot with some carp max, you're probably going home with nothing. They're smaller fish.
He's got some great product.
Yeah.
It's a great product.
Carp max is great, dude. Like, you know, thing is, if you put enough boilies in front of fish, they're gonna eat it.
Yeah.
It depends on how these boilies break down. You know, what's the easiest for these fish to eat. That's the big thing with fish as well. Is the easier it is for them to eat the bait.
Yeah.
They don't really digest, so they have to break it down in their system. So if they can, like, ingest something, you know, eat something that is easier to break down in their system as it goes through.
Yeah.
Then they're going to eat more of that. If they have something that they put in their system and they have to work and work and work to get what it is, they're gonna push fish off eventually. You know, these fish are lazy. They really are.
Yeah, and you know, once I realized that they don't have a stomach and they do just have that digestion tract that, you know, goes through their body, and like you're saying, the harder your baits, the longer it takes for them to process that. It takes it longer to get the nutrients out. So that's when I started, you know, kind of overboiling.
So if they can pull the nutrients.
Go ahead.
No, sorry, the camera cut out for a second. So
you're
go ahead. If you could start over, I missed the first little part.
Oh, I was just saying, you know, they have that digestive tract, and so, you know, the longer the bait takes, the less they're going to eat. So I actually have gone to overboiling kind of some of my particles and actually, you know, letting all those hemp seeds explode, letting all those corns actually be full, big exploded corns instead of having me crack them. You know, because that carp is just going to suck that up. It's going to get a lot of the nutrients from it, and it's just going to pass straight through.
Yep. Yeah. Corn, I don't really like using it unless those kernels have popped open.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I usually will soak my corn for 24 hours if I have the time, anyways.
Right.
Soak it for 24 hours. Cook it for around an hour, and then I'll just turn I'll make sure the water's very full on the pot, and I just turn the stove off and let it sit overnight again.
Yeah.
By the next morning, it's almost overflowing with corn, and the kernels have all absorbed all of the water. Yeah, they're like little sponges then, you know. And if you do like a particular flavor, right as it's done boiling, squirt some of that flavor in and just go stick your corn outside, and the air temperature gets colder at night, obviously.
Right.
And all of those starches are going to solidify and turn into like a thick paste in the corn. Very good.
What flavor would you suggest?
It's like a...
Where are you fishing?
Yeah,
that's a good
river
answer
too.
right there.
You know.
There are lots of mussels. Is it do you do well on a certain flavor usually?
Right.
That's why I respect Fred's opinion, you know, because he's, you know, anybody could have said, you know,
he's right.
Strawberry, or, you know, banana.
Say fucking anything, you know?
Right, he's saying, you know, well, it depends. Where are you going to be fishing? I don't know what the water's like.
What lake flavor is it?
Yeah, that's why I really like Fred, because it feels like, you know, he's kind of like me. He wants to, you know, do the scientific part of the fishing, and then, you know, that's what brings him all the captures. You know, that's the way that these fish make sense to him, so that's pretty cool. I will say we do have a code word for what you're talking about, you know, when you let your corn soak and, you know, it starts rising over the pot, and if you have a lid on it, it pushes the lid up. Anytime I hear, you know, Kenny yell Orville Redenbacher, that's what I know. He said we got popcorn, it's up over the top, so if we yell out the code Orville Redenbacher, we got some nice corn going.
Next time I do that, I'm just going to send him a video, and I'm going to yell it. He's going to laugh.
There we go.
He's probably watching or something.
Brandon Kim.
I'm sure he is. Brandon, what's up, brother?
Yeah.
I see you.
Oh, man, Brandon in the chat. What's up, man? What's up?
Sam Williams said you need to leave it longer and make vomit corn.
Vomit corn. It's upsetting.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
I have a few spots that... Dude, I have a few spots. If you put fermented bait in,
right,
like a bad fermentation, you know, it's rotting, you know, it's sitting for too long. If you put that in the swim, you're not going to see a fish for weeks, dude.
Yeah.
So,
other spot, different story.
What's your PB for your common?
So my PB is 37 pounds.
Nice. That's still
God, I should remember the ounces.
Yeah.
I don't remember the ounces for some reason. I think it's like 11 ounces. I would have to
know.
look back on the
I
post.
feel you on the ounces.
37.
Sometimes, you know, we hear the pounds and then we're so excited, and then everything after that is just kind of a blur. So I get you on that.
I sort of dig that almost. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's because you hear it and you're like, 37, what? I can't believe it. And it's like, oh wait, how many ounces was it? I don't even remember. Oh,
Yeah, a lot of people.
oh well, it's 37. It's
It
nice.
says it on the post. It says it on my post, but I don't.
Yeah.
Right.
The PB thing for me is not even. I was chasing a 40, dude. I was chasing a 40 for so long.
Oh,
I went all the way to Lake Ontario, which is a massive lake.
Right.
man.
You know, like it looks like the ocean, dude. Like, and to be able to pull a 37 out of something that looked like an ocean, it felt very rewarding. You know?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because all those, you got a big ass lake and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's
Yeah, needle in a haystack.
exactly. You should be
I
thankful.
understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grateful. Yeah.
And,
That's awesome.
I think that the biggest thing is like, it's great that somebody has a 50-pound PB, right? That's great. I would love to have a 50-pound PB. But are you catching fish, like you're saying earlier, are you catching fish consistently, large fish consistently? I feel like that is a bigger accomplishment than getting a 40. If you can catch 40s consistently, then props to you. Like, there's a few guys out there that are nuts. I mean,
they
like,
are. I know some.
I know where to go, dude.
Right.
I know where to go to get a 40. You know what I mean? If I wanted to cross it off the list, I would do it this spring, right? But every time that it comes around, something comes up. Right? I got a tournament, or I got a tournament, or I got life happens, whatever. Like 3 hour drive to the spot where if I drove 3 hours, sat for 4 days, I would end up with a 40-pound fish.
Yeah.
Like it's just breaking the swim down. They're there. You hook one, it's gonna be big.
Right.
It's just like last year, this year, right? I was like, I'm gonna go up there and do it. I'm gonna get that 40.
Yeah, I'm gonna get her.
And right at the time because it's very specific at this spot. Like you have to go there when the water's high, and if you're not going there when the water's high, then you're not gonna catch those large fish. And right as that water rises, it fell just in time with like when I had a little social with my team members, Brandon, Isham,
Nice.
and Attila, and I was like, dang, we should have gone to that spot, man.
Yeah.
We're sitting there in Connecticut, dude. We're sitting there in Connecticut. I'm scrolling on my phone. I'm like, no. Guy holding a 43-pound mirror from the spot.
Oh.
And I'm like, no. Right where we are going to be sitting, dude.
Yep.
Right where we're going to be sitting. I was like, no. But I'm glad that it worked out like that because I'm getting a much better time hanging out with friends, 40-pound fishing. I'd rather spend time on the bank with friends than catch a 40,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I think the consistency is that's what separates good anglers from great anglers. Like you were saying, anybody could get lucky and prick a 40. Anybody could get one like I got one. But I think especially me personally, the thing that I would like to do is get them consistently. And I think
Absolutely.
that's something that.
Well, that's another thing about you. Well, is it good to say where you got your fish from on here? I don't know. That's public information or no?
The Dale Hollow, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't want to just be like saying, oh, you got fish out the hollow. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, no, you're good.
a 40, I mean, your what was your fish, 40?
45-4. Yeah.
Yeah, 45. A 45 from Dale Hollow is pretty freaking special whether you prick it or not, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Mine's like 30.
That's a solid fish. Just a solid fish. And not for nothing, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, that was after you guys putting in a good amount of effort there. It's not like you just racked up the first day and cracked your 40, right?
No, yeah, we were actually, we had moved from a different spot, and we were looking at that spot, so we had, we had put in the work for that spot and pre-baited it a little bit, and we were working it pretty good. Got my buddy, his Austin Jones, his PBs at his 30s, and, blessed to get mine. But like you were saying, consistency, I think, is the key. And, I think that's really what you do a great job of, is you are consistently, out there, and, you're consistently getting the job done. I think that's what's really cool.
Yeah. I'm very fortunate to have, like, the spot that I get a lot of my large fish from is a few minutes from my house.
Oh, nice.
You know, so I'm very lucky and fortunate that if the time is, you know, allows, I'll go out before work.
Right.
You know, I'll be out there at 3-4 a.m. just so I can fish until 7 and drive to work after, you know. And then right after work, I'm right back there, and, you know, even though I'm exhausted or whatever, you know, it's just rather be sitting there than sitting at the house.
Right, it's the thrill of that hunt,
Yeah.
you know. I feel like that's what all carpers kind of share, is we really we hunt for the fish. It's something that, you know, we get out there, it's us versus the fish, and we're just trying to get him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
So you do a lot of fishing on the hollow, or do you is that just your main area, or you fish other areas?
Oh yeah, well, I'm here in Indianapolis, so I fish all around, like the Indianapolis area, the White River, Geist. I want to start fishing like things like Monroe and things like that, but a lot of it is me watching other people catch fish on the hollow. You know,
That's a good point.
that's great too. But you know, I think that's also rewarding. Is you know, we get to put out the traps, and we would have caught that fish. You know.
And then, you know, you guys got that whole USA CARP guide, and you guys are actually expanding to other states now, and then that's your other chances to go to other part of the states too. You know, if you guys wish to do that, you know, that's
that lake house you guys just got in Connecticut. That's a Airbnb that I've been stalking, dude. I've been stalking that spot, man.
Yeah,
and I knew it was gonna hold big ass fish. And then here comes Kenny Mack.
bear calling it out.
I was gonna say, if there's a big fish caught somewhere, Kenny Mack's not too far behind, I promise. Or he's the one that caught it out of there. So, you know, Fred, I loved having you on. You know, I'm hoping that we could get you on again. You know, sooner rather than later. You know, I hope. You know, you and I think our personalities are quite similar. Yeah. I'm hoping, you know, maybe we could talk to each other in the future. Maybe we can get each other out, go to the Connecticut spot. Maybe we could crack that lake house together. Maybe we fish in New Hampshire. Maybe you come down to Dale Hollow. Whatever it is, I'd like to get on the bank with you. You know, I'd like to pick your brain. I think, you know, I could really benefit from you, and it'd be a fun hangout.
Yeah, dude, I'm down. We'll schedule something. You'll figure it out, and whether you're coming up here or I'm going there, you know, we'll get it done.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That lake house sounds like a good idea, though.
It does. That lake house does. I want to get a crack at that. They were already sending me pictures, and I was like, okay, well, when do I get to go fish it? And they were like, you got to work, Daniel. And I was like, oh, okay, well. And so.
Well, you know, you could guide me. You know, you'll guide the
right, there we go.
Dude.
There we go. You'll request a private service for me. So, well, James, you know, anything you want to?
No, I mean, again, you know, Fred, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Like I said, I've been wanting to get you on the show for a long time. I'm glad I had the opportunity to do it. I know you're a very, very busy person, and just the knowledge that you have really, you know, just showed it what you just spoke today. Keep up the great stuff, and I hope that Ben Shack, you know, does a great job for you. You know what I mean? Sounds like he's already on the right track with you.
Yeah, that's you know, that's huge for people to be able to go in and buy bait, buy rods, you know, like Fred was saying, hooks and rigs and things like that.
Yeah. But 100%. So real quick before we get off.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say big thank you to Brandon.
Nice.
Brandon Kim, you know, you're the man. You know, you help out a ton. You know, you're there for me, whether it's fishing or whatever it may be, dude. You know, you're the man. You know, yeah. Hisham, dude, you're the guy. Love you, brother. Attila, same. You know, love you, man. And Dave, dude, you're the man. Yeah. That's my shout outs.
All right, well,
thanks a lot, Fred. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Fred. Have a great rest of your night, my brother.
Like to get you on the show next time.
Yes, sir.
Peace. Bye, brother.
Peace.
Hours.
Yeah, man. I've heard of Fred. He's like a legend to me. You know, I got into carp fishing, and he was one of those names that I saw over there on the East Coast. You know, just banging out nice fish. And he's like, who's this Fred Powers guy? You guys ever hear of Fred Powers? And everybody's like, yeah, man, he's the real deal. He knows what he's doing. So
he's gonna be another one of those legends that goes down in history. You know, right there with the big kudas. You know.
Yeah. Up there with James Sanders and Kenny Mack.
But you know what, Zach? Who do you look up to for carp anglers? You know what I mean?
Honestly, you know, like I said, I look up to you. I like what you do with the community. I look up to Kenny Mack and Carrie Wright.
Mack's awesome.
For everything that they do. I do look up to Rick Sleeker, Gilbert Huxley, people
legends.
that I don't have a lot of interactions with, but the interactions that I have had them are very, very positive. You know, a lot of the OGs in the carp fishing scene that, you know, obviously came before me, but I respect, you know, everything that they did to be able to, you know, give me the platform that I'm able to have now. You know, if they didn't do what they did in the past, none of this would be here, including you and Kenny Mack and Carrie Wright and, you know, all the close OG guys. And I actually do look up to, you know, a lot of the other people that have come in, you know, around what I did. Not that have come in around where I did, that are around my age group.
Right.
You know, the people like Fred, like Austin Jones, you know, the people that are, you know, over in other states, you know, really working hard. Sorry if I forget anybody, but it's hard. Yeah, Brandon Kim. You know, I pretty much look up to anybody that has their own lane in, you know, in their own.
Wayne from what's that carp magazine? Wayne Boom.
From
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm applying my.
There's so many magazines and everything that I've used.
They do all the nice photo shoots of all the beautiful carp. Carp Association. I can't remember. What
but
they're in California.
The point is, you know, I guess kind of, I like to take a little bit of something from everybody, and there's, you know, I guess I kind of look up to everybody that really does anything. If you care about these fish and if you're trying to grow the sport, I look up to you. No matter, you know, if you're some of the people that I look up to, oddly enough, are actually two kids over in Tennessee, Jezreel and Braden. They get out every single day with their backpacks and their carp gear, and you know, they're 15, 16 years old catching, you know, carp that are 15, 20 pounds, but you know, that's what I look up to. I look up to the kids that you're getting out there and you're actually trying to fish and that you love it.
That was a good show.
Right on. I think it was too.
All right, guys. I appreciate you guys for watching our show.
Thank you for watching, everybody.
Yeah. Go to USA CARP Guide.
USACarpGuide.com and on YouTube. USACarpGuide.com if you want to book a trip, and USA Carp Guide on YouTube if you want to watch some of our shows. We're going to have more live videos, more talk shows, and once we get out there on the boat this season, a lot more content coming. So thank you very much. Check out Team Fish Fighters as well. And let's go through some of our sponsors. Shout out Carp Anglers. Shout out Big Money Beavers. Shout out Team Fish Fighters as always, you know, for giving us a platform and, you know, allowing us to do this show. Shout out Bottom Feeder Baits for one of the best pack bait mixes out there. Shout out Carpy Commando, and shout out Carp Anglers Group. Shout out James Sanders, shout out Kenny Mack, shout out Austin Jones. Anybody you want to shout out?
Daniel Irish.
Shout out me, I guess. Thank you very much. All right, we'll see you later, guys. Have a great night.
Thanks for watching, guys.